When you look around New Bern and the many surrounding communities, you see the large number of sailboats tied up at the many marinas. The Neuse River is a great river for sailing. Eddie Parker has been sailing for more than 10 years.
Okay, bearing off to starboard.
And he drives from Raleigh with his family almost every weekend to enjoy the Neuse River. He points out that visitors come from all over to sail this beautiful natural resource.
Well, this is a fantastic venue for sailing because they have consistently good winds. You can sail 365 days a year. They've got great water. It's protected so the waves never get too terribly huge. We've been sailing in 40 knots of wind and had a pleasant day.
I think it's enjoyable down here because you have a community of boats. When you go out sailing, you recognize the other boats and you wave. It's kind of like other hobbies where if you're a cyclist or if you ride horses and show horses, where you go and you see the same people. The Neuse is a vibrant sailing community. In fact, they say Oriental, which is on the Neuse, is the sailing capital of North Carolina.
We're going to put a spinnaker up probably, which has a lot more to do. We have the boat set up for racing right now. You can see the sail rolls around the jib. And now I've got that disconnected so we can change out sails during a race. So it's a bit more complicated for taking a boat out to race than it is to just go out day sailing. The sails, I've got Dacron sails, but these are made out of carbon fiber, and all my sails are carbon fiber.
Parker wears two hats when on the water. On one hand, he loves the challenge and excitement of sailing his large race boat. And on the other hand, he also loves to convert this same boat into a vessel fit for a peaceful and scenic voyage, turning the weekend into a fun and memorable family gathering. In no time, the boat transforms from racing to cruising mode.
That's why we bought this boat. It's a really nice dual-purpose boat. It's not an all-out race boat. It's fairly heavy at 13,000 pounds. It's 36 feet long. It draws 6 feet, so it has a keel underneath it that takes 6 feet of water. It weighs 13,000 pounds. We've had some of our best vacations we've ever had in our lives. We've done sailing here, and really it's great. We can go somewhere as a family. We can swim. We'll spend 9 days on the boat and sometimes not go to shore for 3 or 4 days.
When you get out on the river, you get away from any disappointments you may have with work or with your relationships or whatever, and it's like you get to start again fresh. I'm all into having fun and enjoying it and being with my family and relaxing.
The Parker sailboat is named Brown-Eyed Girl after their daughter, who comes along for the weekend outings with her parents. The Parkers also generously invite friends to join them on their weekend voyages. Friends like Jerry Lenore, who lives outside of Asheville.
Well, it's such a unique area. You've got the river, you've got access to offshore to the ocean, to the sound. You've generally got good breeze down here. It's a good group of local sailors that I've been lucky enough to hook up with and get exposed to this part of the country.
Going off, don't reach!
But even with a peaceful voyage with all hands on deck, there is still much excitement when the direction of the sails are shifted and the boat tilts over on its side, causing everyone to climb over to the highest point. Parker says it only takes about 5 minutes to launch his boat from the dock. He points out that the skills required to operate and handle a sailboat are not terribly complex because these boats are easy to use and maintain. But he also points out that people who sail still need to have experience. He says there are various challenges that require teamwork and having the knowledge of these basic skills of operation, like learning how to make the boat go faster, adjusting the sails to change direction, or dealing with various changes in weather conditions.
It can get as extreme as injury and death. Whoever you're out with, you need to be able to trust them, trust each other.
So they just hoisted that big blue sail. It's a spinnaker. So the spinnaker on this boat's about 1,000 square feet. So Ed is working what's called an after guy. Bill was in what's called the pit, and he was helping pull the halyard up. Tinka is trimming the spinnaker, and Jerry was actually helping her trim it when it's got so much load on it.
The bigger boats, especially with the racers, you get a position, like on a soccer team, you play forward. Well, on the big boats, you have a position.
It's a whole new learning game of just different things to do. It isn't really any harder than learning anything else, but and also being around good people that have the time to teach you and show you how to do it the right way.
Especially when the wind gets really strong and you go out and you sail for a day and you've had a great day of sailing, you come back in, you feel like you've done something. You've really accomplished something. You've you've tamed nature almost. The winds are very consistent here. Even in the middle of summer, there's always a good breeze.
The Neuse River is a great place to sail. It's a great place to learn to sail. There's only wind tide. It's only about 8 feet deep. You get a big enough boat out here, you can't sink. You can hang on the mast. I'd go out with anybody on the Neuse River in any boat if I had a life jacket. It's only at the widest part, I believe, 3 miles wide. So the Neuse is a great place to learn big boat sailing because it's safer, because there's less fetch for the winds to make big waves. There's no tide. If you want to go and learn in the ocean, you're going to have a lot of tide. Wind tide here is predictable.
And as this group of sailors enjoys what Parker calls a beautiful, pristine waterway, this family and their friends know it's imperative to keep the Neuse River clean in order for it to be accessible to future generations.
Oh yeah, when we came down here 13 years ago, it was really, nobody would swim in the water. It was very dirty and polluted. And I think the past efforts over the last 14 years to clean up the river, especially since Hurricane Fran, the water is clearer, it's more full of fish than I've ever seen it before. When you have this much of a resource, you want to protect it so you can use it.
It's such a resource for not only the area, the state, but really the whole country. There's not many places like that. I've lived and traveled in different parts of the country, and places like this are very unique and really need to be protected.
But the river itself is something that if you spend any time on it, you'll come to love it. I think there's something for everybody to love here.
We like it so much down here, we finally bought a house. It's where we want to live when we grow up.
I hope you've enjoyed this special voyage on the Neuse River and that it motivates you to get out here and enjoy some of this natural beauty that surrounds us. But remember, this is your river. We all have a responsibility to keep it clean. It's our future. I'm Larry Baldwin, Lower Neuse River Keeper.